Okay guys, we're back. We're going to show you a little more about SDA. In particular, we're going to demonstrate how to recode a variable, and the variable I'm going to use will be a continuous variable. Last time we looked at recoding the race variable into white and non-white. Remember that there were three categories. So this is a discrete variable. There was white, black, and other, and we recoded it to be white in one group and black and other in another group. Now we're going to look at a continuous variable and show you two different methods to collapse that variable or put it into smaller categories. So the variable here is called age. This is the respondent's age. I'm going to come up here in my selected box and just type in age. I could also find it in the drop-down code book down below, and I'm going to click on View. Notice I'm using a different computer than last time, and this browser, this is Firefox. The other computer I was using Chrome. In Firefox, this opens up a new window for me. Chrome could be set up to do that as well, but my version is not. Here's our variable age, and you can see that there's one category for every year. So here at the top we have our 18-year-olds, or 194 18-year-olds, 757 19-year-olds. Down at the bottom, here we get down to 56-year-olds, 831 56-year-olds, and I'm going to just keep scrolling. And you can see it just rolls right off the screen. Keeps going. We get all the way down here to 89 or older. So that's considered to be a top-coded variable. So we stop at 89 years old. That's the largest value we have, but actually there are people in the data set who are a bit older. And we've discussed the reasons why they collapse that category, make it open-ended or top-coded. And you can see we can't even really keep this on a pretty big monitor. We can't even keep all of this on the screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this distribution of age and we're going to put it into smaller categories, and we're going to use the same method that we used to recode the race variable. So let me shut this window, and I'll come over here. I'm still in my if you come up here and see, I'll highlight this. I'm still in my frequencies and cross-tabulation program. We haven't really done anything outside of that. And I'm going to come in here in row, and I'm going to type age. Now, if I were to click on the Run the Table button at the bottom, which is right down here, or if I were to just use the Enter key, we'd get the same distribution that we had before. We'd see the exact same kind of output. But what I want to do is I want to recode this and put different aged respondents into separate categories or groups. So I'm going to do that the same way we did the race variable. First, I'm going to use an open parentheses, and I'm going to let SDA know that I'm doing a recode. So I'll do R colon and space, and now I need to type in the ranges of values I want in each interval. So I'm going to go 18 to 20. Notice that this is not a very large interval, and then I'm going to hit semicolon, which indicates that delineates that interval coding. And then I'm going to start with 21 and go to 30 and semicolon, 31 to 40 semicolon, 41 to 50 semicolon. So I'm using a dash for that, to indicate it's inclusive. 51 to 60, 61 to 70. And notice I missed a space here. I don't really need the space, but I like them. I'm going to go back and fix it. I like them because it makes it a little bit easier to read. And I need my semicolon. 71 to 80. And then I'm going to have 81 to 89. And I'm going to put a closed parentheses in. Now, my default here is to have this composite weight. I prefer to have no weight, so I want to make certain to select that. And I'm good to go here. I can go ahead and look at the new frequency distribution, and I can just go ahead and run the table. So here's my intervals, nicely labeled for me. And so this interval 18 to 20 is coded 1, 21 to 23 is coded 2, and so forth. And you can see it's taken that big long list of numbers and collapsed them into a smaller set of discrete intervals that make it much easier to do analysis. So that now we could go back and look at, say, different averages by these age groups. Maybe we're interested in how aging is related to sexual frequency, or aging is related to attitudes about capital punishment or something like that. So that's one kind of simple way It's actually a little bit of work to type this all in. I've got a little bit of practice at it, so I did this without mistakes, but usually when I do this, I will make a mistake. Here's a typical mistake. I'll come up here and leave my semicolon out, and I'm just going to go ahead and run the table. And I get error age has error and recode specification. It doesn't show me where the error is, so it's up to me to go back and fix it. But if I kind of look through this, I can see right here is where I should have a semicolon. So that's a very typical error that I make, and you probably will as well. Let's see if we run this again and hit the enter key, and there we go. So now it's running. Now there's another shortcut you can use when you have a variable like age, which is going to have very regular intervals. This recode up here in the row box is pretty complicated to write. In fact, what I do sometimes is I will copy, once I get a recode to work well, I will copy that recode and paste it into a separate text file and keep the text file. So when I'm using this variable again, I can just go to my text file and copy from the text file into the row box. So I don't have to recreate this every time. It just depends how complicated it is. And then there are some other options as well that we're going to show you how to create a permanent variable in the data set that will exist for a little while, and you can come back and reuse it. But there's also a shortcut for this command. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that box. Here's the shortcut. Let me just type it in. Age, open parentheses, C:. The C stands for collapse. I'm going to have intervals that are about 10 units wide, so about 10 years wide. And I'm going to start on the ones, so 21, 31, 41, and so forth. So let's see what we get here when I run this table. Well, this looks pretty similar to what we had before. In fact, it's identical. Notice that it automatically knew that if I'm going to start on the ones, 21, 31, 41, 51, that this category can't start on a 1. So it just sort of takes everything that's below 21 and lumps it into one category. That's exactly what I wanted. If I change this option, I'm going to leave this window up here, from a 1 to a 0. Okay. Now we're saying let's make our category start at not 21, 31, 41, but at 20, 30, 40, and so forth. Maybe that's what we want. We'll run that. And let's see if I can get these two windows side by side. That's pretty good. So here we go, 18 to 20, 18 to 19. 21 to 30, 20 to 29, and so forth. So all we really do is change the starting point. It doesn't have to be 0. It doesn't have to be 1. It could be 5. But 0 or 1 works out pretty well in this situation for this age variable. There's other kinds of recodes we can do. The next thing that we're going to look at is how to create a new variable, kind of a composite variable, by adding individual variables together. And that's a little bit longer topic that will involve a discussion of scales and indices.